You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report's Scoreboard Show, podcast number 273.1, our daily update on professional, college, and high school sports in Central Indiana. Your daily audio sports section drops every single weekday between 1 and 2 p.m.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengel.
Ananobi has one more foul shot.
Try to compose yourself when the Pacers hit this game winner.
All right. He made the second. It's a two-point game. Bring it the length, fellas, and hit a three. Two-point game, 6 seconds to go. Halliburton driving. He's in the lane. He nearly lost it. He backs up and unloads a three. Oh! That did not happen! It hit the back of the rim. It popped high into the air, and it dropped gently through the net. The scoreboard shows 125-125. It's called a two-point shot.
Mr. Boyle, of course, did not keep himself composed, and we love that. That was the legendary Mark Boyle on the call for WIBC with Eddie Gill on color. Another unforgettable call for another unforgettable game for your Indiana Pacers. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report, you have picked the right day. Today is May 22nd, 2025. It's a Thursday. It's another day for Central Indiana sports, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengel, and I love Central Indiana sports. Coming to you today from Madison Grant High School. Producer Susie is in the control room at headquarters in Jeffersonville. Coming up, Pacers, and more Pacers. Plus, Colts owner Jim Irsay passed away, and we'll get Tony Dungy's thoughts on his former boss. We will also hear from Roger Penske, whose team is in the middle of a scandal this week. And Taylor Track and Field has a national champion. Not a lot of high school sports, but Kokomo and Eastern battled in a big girls tennis sectional match on Wednesday. Late Wednesday, we release our dumbfounded reaction to the Pacers Game 1 win. Mike Rich and I were joined by John Robertson, Mike Hutzel, Will Rutherford, Michelle Garman of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader, and Cody Emerson of the Greencastle Banner Graphic. All stopped by to give us their thoughts on another historic and truly unbelievable Pacers win. In a postseason filled with miracles from the Indiana Pacers, they outdid themselves in Wednesday's Game 1 at Madison Square Garden in New York City. The Pacers did something that's never been done in the history of the NBA, coming back from 14 points down with 2.5 minutes to play in a 138-135 overtime win. Aaron Nesmith had a Reggie-like performance, scoring 20 points in a 5-minute stretch, something no player had ever done in the history of the playoffs. Down 11 with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left, Nesmith hit a three to cut the deficit to 8, then made two more in a row, the second one from the Knicks logo, to make it 123-118 with 34 seconds left. Still didn't look good. After Andrew Nembhard forced a turnover, Nesmith made another one to cut the gap to 123-121 with 22 seconds left. Nesmith then made two free throws to cut it to 124-123 with 12 seconds left. After OG Anunoby made his second of two free throws with 7 seconds on the clock, Halliburton faked like he was going to drive into the lane, sprinted behind the three-point line. His shot hit the back of the iron, went straight up like it was going to hit the ceiling at Madison Square Garden, and straight back down, nothing but net. Nuts.
I'm like, it's going in. You know, it just felt like it got stuck up there, though, you know? And honestly, when it, went in, I thought my eyes might have been deceiving me in the moment. But it felt good when it left my hand. So, you know, I thought it was going to go in. And, you know, the ball felt like it was up there for eternity. But, man, just a special moment.
After the shot, Halliburton gave the Knicks the choke sign, emulating Reggie Miller, who did the same thing in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 1995, scoring 8 points in the final 8 seconds. Reggie was calling the game for TNT.
in my celebration, somebody said it was a 2. And, then my focus just became winning it. How we could, win the game. And I thought we did a great job of sticking with it in overtime, just making big play after big play. Obviously, Aaron's heroics aren't, I hope they're talked about it. They can't be talked about enough. He was amazing down the stretch. Obi had a big putback dunk. We had a lot of different guys contribute, make plays, and I was really proud of our group. If I would have known it was a 2, I would not have done it. So I think I might have wasted it.
Andrew Newhart took over in the overtime session. He scored 7 points and had 2 assists, accounting for 11 of the Pacers' 13 points in overtime. He also scored the go-ahead basket on a nice pass from Halliburton. Of course, Halliburton's and Nembhard's heroics don't happen without Nesmith, who went 9 for 13 from the field, 8 for 9 from behind the three-point line, and 4 for 4 at the foul line. That's 30 points on 13 field goal attempts. Just unreal. At one point, he made 6 straight three-pointers, and the Pacers needed every single one of them.
Nesmith again, 3, got it! He's a flamethrower! Has resuscitated the Indiana Pacers in Game 1 of the conference finals in the East.
Nesmith is now 35 for 65, 54% from three-point range in the playoffs. He also defended Jalen Brunson, who had a game-high 43 points, but looked tired down the stretch with Nesmith dogging him.
I was just doing what the team needed of me, I was just letting them fly. I was in a good rhythm. Didn't really realize what I was doing in the moment. I was just trying to win the basketball game.
The Pacers have not trailed in any series yet in the postseason, is now 3 games from their second NBA Finals appearance. ESPN reported that the Knicks admitted to taking their foot off the gas late in the game. Of course they did. They were up 14 points with 2.5 minutes left. No team had ever come back from that. According to Tyler Smith of IndianaSportsLegends.com, the odds of the Pacers winning all 3 of their historic comebacks, Game 5 against the Bucks, Game 2 against the Cavs, and Game 1 on Wednesday, is 38,689 to 1, or 0.0000258.3%. NBA teams were 0-970 when trailing by 14 points in the final 3 minutes before last night. This team, man. Whew. Game 2 is Friday at 8 with games 3 and 4 Sunday and Tuesday in Indianapolis. Here's Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle on what Game 1 meant.
This is day 1 of 13 days. Remarkable resilience by our guys, hanging in, finding a way to get the thing to overtime, and then made enough plays. But it's a long series. We're not going to get too excited about this. We got things to clean up. They got things to clean up. Game 2 is going to be another war.
On Thursday, the Thunder looked to go up 2-0 against the Timberwolves in Game 2 in Oklahoma City. That's at 8:30 on ESPN and ESPN+. It wasn't all good news in Indianapolis on Wednesday. Colts owner Jim Irsay passed away at the age of 65. Irsay's father, Robert, moved the Colts to Indianapolis from Baltimore in 1983, and Jim took over as the team president in 1997 and ushered in the glory years of the franchise in Indianapolis. He served as the Colts general manager from 84 to 96 and as the team owner from 97 until Wednesday. Irsay's daughter, Carly Gordon, is expected to take control of the franchise. Former Colts head coach Tony Dungy, who led the Colts to the Super Bowl 41 victory, told Wish TV that Irsay was an indispensable leader of the organization.
He had a tremendous impact on me, and it's just like a brotherhood. I remember the first time he called me and talked about his vision for the Colts in the city of Indianapolis and what he wanted to accomplish. He wanted us to be good, obviously, but he wanted to connect with the fan base. He wanted to impact the city. He wanted to win, but do it in the right way. And I'll tell you, Jim was one of the most compassionate people that I have ever known. He did so many things behind the scenes for not only our players and our staff, but for the city and for individuals that people would never even hear about. But he just did it out of the goodness of his heart.
The fallout continues from the Penske racing saga. Two of Penske's cars, the ones driven by Will Power and two-time reigning Indianapolis 500 champion Joseph Newgarden, were both penalized for failing qualifying inspection. On Wednesday, the team fired longtime team manager Tim Cindric after 25 years with the team, managing director Ron Rzuski, and general manager Kyle Moyer. The cars were moved to the back of the field for Sunday's 109th running of the Indianapolis 500, and both cars were fined $100,000. Roger Penske, who owns the team, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and the IndyCar Series, joined Jamie Little on Fox to make a statement and answer questions.
I would say that I'm totally disappointed with the outcome, certainly on Sunday. I really have to go back 4.5 years ago when we bought the Speedway, and I said, number one, that I would invest capital, I'd get the best people, and we take the series, IMSP, and certainly Indianapolis Motor Speedway to higher levels. I think we've done that. Then I look at my right hand and say, what about Team Penske? And when I think about Team Penske, we really have had an organization failure 2 times, not once, but 2 times. And believe me, it hurts me in my gut when you think about it. But I look at it this way, that there's a certain amount of credibility you have to have. It's integrity, individually and collectively, our team, the sport. And I think we let people down. I've made some management changes we announced today, and I think we'll move on, and our goal is to win the race this coming weekend.
Newgarden is looking to become the first ever driver to win 3 Indy 500s in a row. The Indiana Fever look to bounce back from their first loss of the season on Thursday in their first road game of the year in Atlanta. The Dream beat the Fever 91-90 in Indy on Tuesday night in Game 2 of the season. Caitlin Clark is currently 7th in the league in scoring at 23.5 points per game and leads the WNBA in assists at 10.5 per game. The Dallas Stars survived a brawl and the Edmonton Oilers to win Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals in the Stanley Cup playoffs Wednesday evening. Game 2 is Saturday at 8 in Dallas. The game can be seen on ESPN or ESPN+. The world champion Florida Panthers will try to go up 2-0 against Carolina in the Eastern Conference Finals in Game 2 Thursday evening. The game is scheduled for 8 and is on TNT and the Max app. Just a couple of news and notes this Thursday. Mississinawa Athletic Department tweeted Thursday that Leighton Stearns will continue his baseball career at Cornerstone University in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Zach Browning of the HoosierOn3.com reports that 2028 defensive back Phoenix Evans from New Jersey plans on visiting IU. Evans has already been offered by Michigan State, Illinois, Rutgers, Pitt, Maryland, Tennessee, Carolina, among others. Team USA star Christian Pulisic says that he will not play for Team USA this summer in the Gold Cup. He's just too darn tired to compete for his country after spending the year getting paid to play soccer across Europe. And Yannick Sinner and Arnya Sabalenka are the top seeds in the French Open, which begins in earnest on Friday and concludes on June 8th. Defending French Open champion Carlos Alcaraz is the 2nd seed on the men's side. American Taylor Fritz is the 4th seed, and Novak Djokovic is the 6th seed. American Coco Gauff is the 2nd seed on the women's side. Taylor freshman Janie Halterman won the NAIA 10,000-meter national championship by 25 seconds in the championships at Marion on Wednesday. Halterman won the title in 34 minutes and 10 seconds. Indiana Wesleyan sophomore Eli Fullerton was 2nd to the Cumberland's Lucas Medeo in the men's 10,000 meters. Indiana Wesleyan's Tommy Ott, Zeb Wilson, Jacob Harberts, and Braden Sweet finished 2nd to British Columbia in the men's 3,200 relays at the national finals. Also for IWU, Ali Hawk was 5th in the 400 hurdles. Noel Vanderwall finished fifth in the nation in the 1500 in 4:36.97, and Jared State was sixth in the 3000 steeplechase for Taylor. Marion's Tristan Trevino won the men's 1500 national championship, and Marion's women won the 3200 meter relay national title. IUK and former Madison Grant thrower Gabe Wedmore finished 11th in the nation in the hammer throw. IUK Sydney Duncan is the national championship favorite in the shot put, which is being held Thursday. Indiana Wesleyan is plus 13, tied for 17th after the first round of 3 at the NAIA National Championships at TPC Deer Run in Northwest Illinois. Carson Cave led the Wildcats Wednesday with a 2 over par round. Wayland Baptist of Texas is -4 and has a 4-shot lead on second place Dalton State from Georgia. After round 1, Dalton State's Jack Whaley has the individual lead. Ball State started the MAC tournament in Avon, Ohio with a big 6-5 win over Eastern Michigan Wednesday. Blake Beavis homered in the third to put the Cardinals up 3-0. He was one of 3 Cardinals with 2 RBIs in the win. It was the only game that was competed on Wednesday because of the rain. The Cardinals will play the 4th game Thursday against 2-seed Kent State. Iowa won Pool C of the Big Ten tournament in Omaha with a 4-3 win over Rutgers, officially ending IU's chances of advancing in the tournament. Earlier in the day, UCLA beat Illinois 8-6 and Penn State beat Washington 5-3. Indiana's season will likely end on Friday with a pool play game against Iowa. First pitch is scheduled for 8. There was only one high school girls tennis sectional competed locally on Wednesday. Kokomo swept the singles matches and won a big sectional opener 3-2 over Eastern Wednesday at the indoor Kokomo Tennis Center. The Wildcats will play Taylor in Thursday's sectional semifinals. Northwestern and Western will meet in the other semifinal. All the other area sectionals were delayed by rain. There were only 5 local games in high school baseball. Northwestern won a share of the Three Rivers Conference, their first season ever in the new league, with a 9-5 win over Mechanical on Thursday. Jax Hansen was 3 for 3 with 2 doubles. Northwestern's now 18-6. Rochester can win a share of the title by beating Cass. That game was postponed Wednesday. New Pal clinched the Hoosier Heritage Conference with a 12-1 win over Newcastle. Kingston Hedges was 2 for 3 with a double, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs for the Dragons. Also in the Hoosier Heritage, Shelbyville beat Greenfield Central 4-2. Aiden Smith threw 6 innings, giving up just 6 hits and 2 runs, and struck out 8 for the Golden Bears. Also for Shelbyville, Reese Pickett hit his first home run of the season. Eastern Hancock beat Burris 21-11. Burris issued 15 walks and had 5 errors in the loss. For the Owls, Solomon Moliera 3 for 3 with a double, 3 runs, and an RBI. The Owls are now 8-12. Cathedral beat Carmel 12-2. Eli Bennett threw a complete game 2 hitter and also had a double and 3 RBIs in the win. And we only had 4 games in softball. Western beat Oak Hill 13-3 by hitting 6 home runs in the win. Emma Rowe hit numbers 5 and 6 of the year, and Brinley Erb hit her state-leading 18th of the season. Kaylee Oth, Jocelyn Jeffers, and Kylie Miller also homered in the win for the 23-3 Panthers. Northwestern blanked Mechanical 15-0. Bailey Marcus, have yourself a game. She threw a complete game 2-hit shutout with 9 strikeouts and was also 4 for 4 with 2 doubles, her 7th home run of the season. She scored 4 times and drove in 4. Clinton Central beat Taylor 11-1. Nuria Harvey was 4 for 4 with 3 runs and also pitched 5 innings, giving up just 3 hits and 1 earned run with 9 strikeouts, and Mackenzie Akazi had a double and a run for Eastern. In high school golf, Lapel shot a 147 in poor weather conditions Wednesday to beat rival Alexandria by 56 strokes. 4 Bulldogs shot 37 or better, led by Maverick Beeson's medalist round of 36. Crawford Douglas, Gavin Hutton, and Cale Paddock all shot 37s for Lapel. The boys track and field sectionals are Thursday locally at Marion, Muncie Central, Kokomo, Mount Vernon, and Fishers, and we will have all the results for you on Friday's Scoreboard show. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. Now here's the call from the Korean announcers on Halliburton's game-tying shot that sent Game 1 into overtime. Simply amazing. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please don't forget that we do this every weekday between 1 and 2 p.m. And it would help us out a lot if you'd share these podcasts with your friends and family. We humbly thank you in advance. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.